So, as some of you know, I have been gone for almost 2 years. And that is because I have been going through some stuff myself that I had to take a step back and try to find my energy, try to find what I want in life, everything else. So, with that being said, here I am. I am also going to be doing a You Are Not Alone series. And that is because as I have said in my previous videos, I have been diagnosed with depression, severe anxiety, social anxiety, and more so recently within the last month, I have been diagnosed with IED, which is intermittent explosive disorder, which means at any moment in time, I can just explode. And that is not what I want for myself. That is not what I want for my family. That is not what I want going forward. That is not what I want to put my child through. That's not what I want to put my husband through. So I am going through therapy. I have addressed the problem. I have realized what I have done. For right now, and I want to say for forever, that my husband and I are on good terms. We are good. We're on talking terms. We have not had an argument in the last almost week. Nope. Probably 4 days. Yeah, so with that being said, here is my You Are Not Alone series. So I'm going to do these in separate videos. I'm going to talk about a few things in one video, and then I'm going to talk about another few things in another video. And that's way, so it's not taking up a lot of your guys' time. And that way it doesn't get boring. So I have a little notebook here that I've been jotting down some stuff, and I'm going to also talk about my experiences too. In the beginning, I want to tell you that being unhappy is not the same as depression. If you are unhappy with something, that does not mean that you are depressed. Depression, and I'm going to be reading off my notebook, so I'm going to be like staring down. So, depression is a term often used loosely to describe how we feel about a bad week or when we are going through a breakup. So, if you and your other half just broke up and you're feeling down, depressed, that is what we as humans, I guess, use loosely as in that's how we're feeling. I personally don't believe that it's always depression when it comes to a breakup or having a bad week. And that is because that feeling will go away and it doesn't stick with you. It doesn't go into the weeks after and the months after and the years after like depression does. Another thing is major depressive disorder is a type of depression that is much more complicated. And there are specific symptoms that determine if it is depression or just sadness. So here are I'm going to go with 4. Here are 4 things that I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to share about my experiences with it as well. So hopeless outlook is major depression is a disorder that affects your moods and changes the way you feel about life in general. So I don't have much confidence. I always feel hopeless. I feel like I will never gain confidence. I feel like I should be taking care of people over myself. So like, I don't feel happy about life. But when I'm with my husband, you would never know that I feel that way. And then it goes on to say, having a helpless or hopeless outlook on life is the most common symptom. You feel helpless, even with other people, not just within yourself, for other people as well. Another one is lost interest. So depression can take a toll on pleasure and enjoyment, and it can take that out of the things you do. A loss of interest or backing out of activities you once loved doing is yet another sign of major depression. Another thing you may lose interest in is sex. Decreased sex drive is a sign of depression as well. Yes, I did have a loss in sex drive. And on top of that, with me taking my Celexa, my doctor also said that Celexa will decrease your sex drive. So with those two together, I had no interest in sexual activity whatsoever. If that's you, you may have depression, you may not. Could be hormonal if you're postpartum, things like that. So taking interest out of things that you enjoy doing. So you enjoy hanging out with your friends, and then, you're like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to hang out today. I'm just going to stay at home. And you indulge in that, and you sit there and you ponder on things, you think about things, and it just makes you more depressed. It makes you more in this hole. So for me, it was getting out of bed was a difficult thing. Going for rides was a difficult thing just to clear my head. Going to the mall was a difficult thing. Going shopping was a difficult thing. Even online shopping had become a difficult thing for me, and I wasn't even leaving the house. Things such as whatever you enjoy doing, hobbies, sports, whatever. If you have loss of interest, you may have major depression. So this third one goes with loss of interest. It's a lack of sleep or feeling sleepy. You may not want to do things. Depression can come with a lack of energy and overwhelming feeling of fatigue. So you may feel really tired all the time. You may sleep all the time. And back in 2018, from about April to May-ish, until the end of August, beginning of September, I slept all the time. And the only time that I got out of bed was to go eat or go to the bathroom, because at that point I was pregnant. So I had no choice but to get up and go get something to eat for my child, to be able to provide for my child so that I would have a healthy child. Other than that, I slept all the time. I didn't really do anything. When I was asked to go places, I literally had to peel myself out of bed, and I would literally wait till the last minute to get up. And then I'd be running late because I was waiting till the last minute. So depression is very much linked to insomnia. So if you're not sleeping, you could have major depression. And that's not solely, hey, I'm not sleeping, so I have depression. No, you should be having all of these things in order to know if you have major depression or not. Insomnia and depression make each other worse, and a lack of quality, restful sleep can lead to anxiety. So if you're not sleeping, you just ponder upon things that are making you depressed, such as possibly losing somebody. So let's say you're in a relationship and your relationship isn't going very well, and you want to work on things, but your other half isn't so keen on it. And then you basically feel like you're fighting for something that you know can work out. So there's a lack of sleep there because you're constantly thinking about it. You're constantly wondering what they're thinking about. You're constantly wondering if things are going to work out for you. And then you're not sleeping. And then you're thinking about all this other stuff that goes hand in hand with what is keeping you awake. Therefore, you're not getting restful sleep that you need, which is taking energy away from you, which in turn takes away the pleasure and enjoyment of doing things, and in turn gives you anxiety. Welcome to my life so far. This is what I'm working on, and I will give you a few tips and tricks to help ease your mind as I go through therapy as well. So the fourth one is anxiety. Depression hasn't been shown to cause anxiety, but depression and anxiety can often occur together. Symptoms of anxiety include nervousness, restlessness, feeling tense, feeling of danger or panic, rapid heart rate, rapid breathing, increased or heavy breathing, muscle twitching, trouble focusing or thinking clearly other than the things you are worried about. So if you're worried about something, then you're constantly focused on that and you can't think clearly on other things. Maybe you're thinking about something and you need to do some housework, but you can't focus on that housework. That was actually me a few days ago. I was thinking about something and it took me literally 2 days just to do one pile of dishes because I could not focus. I know that there had been some things going on that, I don't really want to talk about them because I'm not outing anybody. I know that it was just my anxiety. So I'm not going to say, hey, this is your fault when it's not your fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's the way my anxiety is. It's the way my thought process is. So, my thought process is with my anxiety and depression that, my husband was cheating on me. That's not the case at all. He was not cheating on me. And because I was so hell-bent on this, he's cheating on me, that it eventually took a toll on our relationship. So with that being said, we are good. We're on talking terms. We're together. We're good. We're focusing on our marriage. We're helping each other, move forward and be better, not only for each other, but for ourselves. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about my depression and anxiety, what I had been going through, and within the last month or so. So on August 6th, I had a doctor's appointment with my primary care physician, and she increased my Celexa dose to 40 milligrams. Now that's the highest dose from what I'm told. So on top of that, I started doing the 40 milligrams of Celexa, which kind of was helping. It kind of wasn't helping. But I still have these explosive episodes where, somebody could be like, oh, you're funny. And they could have said it in a sarcastic way. And I would have instantly just blew right up. And that's not okay. That's abuse. And nobody should have to go through that. Not for yourself. You should not be putting anybody else through that. And so I had to really sit down and know what I was doing is wrong. Okay. So I am not perfect by any means, as I am explaining. And so I am trying to retrain my brain to be better. So I in turn went and made another doctor's appointment. So on August 14th, I had another doctor's appointment, and the doctor, I asked for a mood stabilizer. The doctor was not so sure about giving me a mood stabilizer on top of my Celexa, my 40 milligrams of Celexa. And that's okay. So we went, he did an e-consult to psychiatry. And psychiatry turned and said, yes, you know, she does have IED, and we're going to give her a mood stabilizer on top of her 40 milligrams of Celexa. So I got a very low dose of a mood stabilizer, which has been helping me. I am very thankful for that. That they could go ahead and do that for me. So now I am in therapy. I am being referred to a psychiatrist. I am being referred to counseling therapy. I think that's it. So anyway, so today's tips and tricks is how to try to refocus your brain. So let's say, you know, you're constantly thinking about something. So in my case, it was my husband was cheating on me. Now, again, I know that he wasn't, and I know that he still isn't. However, if you feel like you are constantly focusing on something and you cannot get your brain to get off from that, I want you to sit down, relax. I want you to tell yourself, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And keep telling yourself that until you totally have forgot what you were thinking about. Believe me, it works. I have done it for myself many times. That's it for today's video, you guys. Please hit that subscribe button for more. Give this a thumbs up so that YouTube will share it with others. So that way, all of us who are around the world that suffer with depression and anxiety, social anxiety, or even IED, intermittent explosive disorder, I want you to know that you are not alone.